So great. Thank you for joining me. We're going to talk about how do I get my kid to dot, dot, dot. How do I get my kid to listen? How do I get my kid to get out the door, get off their phone, do their homework, whatever you are needing your child to do. We're going to talk about that today. And we're going to talk about three powerful strategies so that you can build cooperation, peace, and connection in your home. If you don't know me, I am Kira Deno. I am a certified parent coach and a pediatrician, and I help thoughtful, sensitive parents get more connection and cooperation in their homes so that they can have more ease and enjoy parenting more. So let's get into how do I get my kid to dot, 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 listen, cooperate, help out. So let's do it. All right. Great. So the technology is always my downfall. So I want to share a couple, real parent stories with you first. So these have been de-identified, but when Jess came to talk to me, she was really struggling with her 13-year-old daughter. They had gotten along kind of better in the past, and as her daughter got to be a tween and a teen, they were just fighting more and more. And the mornings were especially bad. So Jess and her daughter Annie would drive to school together, and then Jess would kind of continue on to her job. So it was really important that they get out the door on time. And Annie was 13. She was caring more about what she wore and caring more about her hair. And so sometimes the laundry wasn't just right, or her hair didn't look good. And then the whole time she would be on her phone texting her friends constantly. And so they would end up like in these screaming matches trying to get out the door on time. And then the car ride was either very tense, with her daughter just on her phone constantly, or sometimes really terrible things were said to each other. So things were getting really, really bad. And what Jess longed for was to have this easy morning routine where she and her daughter kind of got along. And what she really, really wanted was to feel close and connected with her daughter again, kind of as they had when her daughter was younger. But instead, they would be running late. They would be angry with one another. Things felt really disconnected. There wasn't a lot of trust. And really, they felt like enemies. Some of the things that they said to each other were, really, really hurtful and cruel. And what Jess wanted was for she and her daughter to feel like a team. And then I want to share a second, real story that again is de-identified. But when Rebecca started working with me, her main complaint was that she and her son were fighting about screen time. So her son was, I think, 8. And her son really was not listening to her. And so she would have to threaten and punish. And the way that she was getting him to listen really was around screens. She'd have to take away screen time or threaten to take away screen time. And that was really the only way that they could communicate. And it felt really, really terrible to kind of be in this constant battle back and forth. And Rebecca felt guilty, right? She didn't feel close to her son. He didn't trust her. They were angry at each other. It didn't feel good. And what she longed for was to be closer with her son, to have a more cooperative relationship based on trust and affection between them. And both of these moms, Jess and Rebecca, were longing for cooperation and ease. And they really wanted some strategies, like how could they get their kids to want to listen, want to cooperate? without, threats and punishment and screaming. And they wanted strategies that would work even when their children became teenagers, right? Our teenagers sometimes have a strong need for autonomy. And so we need strategies that are going to work even for teenagers. So let's do it. Let's tackle the 3 powerful strategies to get your kids to ... Listen, cooperate, whatever it is that you're needing your child to do. Oops, let me skip one. All right, so if you are familiar, if we've worked together before, or you're familiar with any of my information, my philosophy, it will not be a surprise to you that the very first strategy, the most important one, is connection, connection, connection. Okay, and you can see how close and affectionate this mom and daughter are. Okay, so they are connecting here. And I just want to point out that our need as humans to be connected with one another is probably our most powerful need. I'll go on a little tangent here. I don't know if you're familiar with the story of Harlow's monkeys. Harlow was some sort of he's a psychologist or something, who took these baby monkeys away from their mothers, and he gave them a choice. So the baby monkeys could spend time with the fake mother, who was made out of wire, but had a bottle of milk, or the baby monkeys could spend time with like a soft terry cloth mother who they could snuggle with. And the baby monkeys chose the connection. They chose the soft, affectionate terry cloth mother over food. So, and I think this is a powerful demonstration of how this is a biologic need for everyone, including mammals and monkeys, to be connected with one another. It is a survival need, and so we are really wise as parents when we work with that need, right? That need to be connected. And so again, it's a survival need, right? So you can imagine this child. He has no hope of surviving in the wild without his parents. So his need to connect with them is an absolute 100% survival need. He is not going to survive without it. It has powerful biologic underpinnings. And so again, we're going to make our jobs a lot easier as parents when we respect and honor that this connection is a powerful need. And it's easy to see how the infant and toddler needs their parents, but in fact, none of us, in evolutionary times, none of us humans would survive alone, right? We would have very little chance of surviving alone. And so this need for connection is not just a need for young children. It is core to our being as humans. And so it doesn't go away for teenagers. Even when teenagers appear to be pushing us away, they still have a very deep core need for connection. And the need for connection goes throughout our lives. It's true for us as adults. It never goes away. So as parents, we want to remember to connect with our kids first. Okay, we're going to connect first before all the other stuff. Before what stuff? Everything. Before everything else. So we want to connect first. Connect before we're setting a boundary. We want to connect before we're lecturing and teaching. We want to connect before we're correcting. The connection is going to be the first thing, and we're going to, harness that connection so that we can then be, powerful teachers, powerful coaches for our kids, all the good things we want our kids to be able to do, but connection first. So, what does connection look like? How do we connect? And it can look a lot of different ways, but one is through play, fun, silliness, right? We're connecting when we're enjoying ourselves with another person. You can see that this dad and son are just being silly together, and you can see from the expression on their faces, they're really just enjoying one another. We connect when we use affection. Again, you can see how happy the child and mother look. And I think sometimes, especially with teenagers, we can forget that they still have needs for affection, including physical affection. They may appear to be pushing us away, and yet, it doesn't mean that they don't have a deep, deep need for affection, including physical affection. We connect when we spend quality time with each other. So here's, a dad reading to his son. They both have these happy smiles on their faces. They're enjoying each other. So we can connect by doing things that we both enjoy doing. This is somewhat like play, but it doesn't have to be play. So you can, whatever activities you love to do with your child. And then finally, we connect with each other when we give someone our full presence. So this is slowing down, putting away the phone, putting away the distractions, really just attending to the other person as if they are the most important thing in the universe to you. And this is a real, real gift. It creates connection. So many of us are, distracted frequently. We're busy. We're doing things. We're, talking to our kids and unloading and loading the dishwasher or whatever. So we're able to connect when we really let that other person be the center of our world for a couple minutes. So, why is this connection super, super powerful? Well, it turns out when we feel connected to someone, we naturally want to cooperate with and please that person. Okay, and this happens for our kids, it happens for us as adults. And we want to listen to someone who we feel connected to. Okay, so we naturally want to hear what they have to say. We care what they have to say. And the truth is that parenting becomes so much easier when you feel connected to your child, because now your child wants to please you. And now you don't have to try so hard. Everything is not so much effort from you as a parent, so much struggle, so many, battles. When your child wants to please you, things just get so much easier. So connection, connection, connection first before everything else. And the whole family feels more like a team when they're connected, because all those battles really just evaporate. All right, so let's talk about the second strategy. And again, if you have worked with me or you are familiar with my work, you will know that we use empathy all the time. So empathy is caring about someone else's feelings and needs, getting into what is going on for them, imagining what life is like from their perspective. So we're going to use empathy to care about what is your child feeling, what are they needing. I love this quote by Ross Greene. So Ross Greene is a child psychologist, and he works with a lot of children who have, put it in quotes, behavior problems, but children who are, having trouble getting along and behaving appropriately. And Ross Greene makes this amazingly profound point that the long-term solution to a child not caring about your concerns is for you to care more about his. And this is really what we're talking about when we talk about empathy. We are going to show our child that we care about what's important to them. And this is a model for them so when we model empathy, when I model that I care about what your perspective is, I'm showing you how to care about my perspective. So we're going to model empathy, and we'll talk more about why it's so powerful. So at any given moment, your child is feeling something and they're needing something. Same for you as a parent and for all of us. And what we see is the child's behavior. So we don't know what they're feeling. We don't know what their needs are, but we see the behavior. And we can imagine that that behavior is that child's best attempt to get some unmet need met, right? So you can imagine that when you are feeling, well rested and you're having a good day, it's very easy for you to use behavior that's, let's say, really helpful behavior, right? So when I'm feeling well and I'm in a good mood, it's easy for me to say, would you be willing to please, whatever I need from you. On the other hand, when we are not feeling well, we're not well rested, we're feeling unsafe in some way, our behavior may not look so positive and so appropriate. So our behavior is always an attempt to get an unmet need met. So with empathy, we're trying to understand the other person's feelings and needs. And here, we're modeling to our child how to see from another person's point of view. Okay, so the daughter and the mother are looking off. They're looking at the same thing together. So the mother and the daughter are kind of doing this dance between I'm showing you my perspective, you're showing me your perspective. We're trying to understand what the world looks like from your perspective. Oops, sorry here. And it turns out that empathy, this caring about someone else's feelings and needs, creates real closeness because we understand each other better. Okay, when we don't understand each other, there tends to be a lot of kind of fear and reactivity, right? So as a parent, if my child is totally unpredictable to me, I can't understand what they're doing. Like, why are they feeling this? What are they feeling? Why are they acting this way? When I can't understand them, it creates a lot of fear for me as a parent. And I feel really insecure as a parent because I don't understand my child. I can't predict what they're going to do. But when I can really start to understand like their perspective, what they're feeling and needing, I feel closer to my child. I really understand them. And it really helps my confidence as a parent because now things aren't so scary and unpredictable. I kind of know what's coming because I can read my child. And from our child's point of view, when we care about their feelings and needs, we meet some really powerful needs of theirs, which is the need to be seen, to be heard, and to be understood, which are really powerful personal needs that we all have. We want to be seen by the people that love us. We want to be heard. We want to be understood. And it turns out that our child will want to cooperate naturally when they feel close to us and seen by us and understood by us. So we are, using empathy to help our child feel understood and seen and heard. And we get this bonus return, which is that our child will want to cooperate naturally. And so we get this natural, organic cooperation that we don't have to force. Okay, it makes our parenting so much easier. We're not forcing the child to do anything. And the child who feels heard by us is more likely to listen to us. And the child who feels understood is more likely to want to try to understand us as well. And when we model that we care about our child's feelings and needs, our child is also learning to care about our feelings and needs as well. Someday I'll figure this out. And empathy helps our child feel loved and accepted unconditionally, which is a really, really important thing for developing self-esteem. Okay, the child who feels like they are accepted and loved unconditionally feels very, very secure. And as parents, we feel more confident because we understand our child better. All right, so the third very powerful strategy is to create solutions with our child. Okay, so this is the third thing we want to do, which is creating solutions with our child, not enforcing kind of our way or the highway. So we want to look at everyone's needs, the parents' needs, the child's needs, and get some solutions that meet everyone's needs. Because your needs as a parent matter, your child's needs matter. We're going to try to put everybody's needs on the same level and try to get them all met. And, you know, the truth is that all of us, kids, parents, we all hate to feel powerless, right? We hate to feel like there is, that we have no voice. Our kids are longing to have a voice. We are longing to have a voice. So when we allow our child to be part of a solution, to create a collaborative solution, it creates something called buy-in, which is basically that I am much, much more likely to cooperate and do something that I have agreed to willingly. We all are more likely to do things that we agree to willingly, as opposed to something that was forced on us or coerced into doing. When I say, yeah, I agree to that, that's what I'd like to do, I am so much more likely to honor that than if it's something that came unilaterally from you and I had no choice. So this is true for our kids as well. And so we want our children to be part of creating solutions that work for everyone. When we take away autonomy, so when we prevent our child from being part of the solution, it creates something called psychological resistance, which is basically a power struggle. So if I tell you, you have to do this, you have no choice, you will either put up a power struggle and say, no way, I'm not going to do that. Or the other thing that might happen is you might say, okay, fine, I'll do it. But you will develop a limiting belief that you don't matter, you're powerless, you're a victim, you can't, create solutions. So, we don't want to take away our child's autonomy. Because kids who feel like their voice matter, they are empowered, confident, and secure. And empowered kids don't need to fight with us to be heard because they feel secure. They don't need to argue about everything. And the family just feels better. They feel like a team instead of like every man for themselves. And the relationship between the parent and the child is close, authentic, and trusting, not distant and adversarial. So what happened to these two parents? So Jess worked with me for 10 weeks and she was able to absolutely turn around her morning routine with her daughter so that they could get out the door on time, they could cooperate, they could enjoy each other, and really just be peaceful and feel closer. And this was, a huge shift for her. And for Rebecca and I, we also worked for 10 weeks. She learned how to set peaceful boundaries around screen time that her son was able to accept easily without arguing. She felt way more closer to her son and much more confident as a mom. And I'm guessing that this probably sounds good in theory, but you want to know, like, does this really work in real life with my real kids? How do I actually literally do this? So if that's what you're wondering, let's schedule a phone call and we'll make a plan for you to learn these skills. We'll make a plan that works specifically for you and your family. So you can have cooperation, peace, and closeness that you want in your home. And the way that you would schedule this is you can go to my website, which is sweetspotparenting.com, sweetspotparenting.com, and schedule a free coaching call. I have a group class coming up mid-September, which is called Zen Parenting, specifically for sensitive parents who want peace, harmony, and calm in their household. I also coach couples. I coach, single parents. And it's really for you to get more ease and enjoyment in your home, in your parenting. Get that cooperation, get that peace that you're longing for. And we will get you out of frustration and battles, and we will get you to cooperation, peace, and ease. And thank you so much for your attention. I look forward to talking to you.